Welcome to our complete Week 6 NFL prediction video. We've included the over-under and point spread information, along with our projected scores for every game of the week. There are 4 teams with a bye this week. They are the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Vikings. Week 6 kicks off Thursday night with the 49ers traveling to Seattle for a divisional matchup against the Seahawks. The over-under on this game is set at 48.5, with the 49ers giving up 3.5 points on the spread. This is a game between two teams trying to get their seasons back on track. The 49ers currently have a 2-3 record, but could very easily have found themselves with a 4-1 record had they not let double-digit leads slip away against both the Rams and Cardinals. The Seahawks began the season 3-0, but now find themselves at 3-2 after having been outscored 71-49 the last 2 weeks. We're taking the 49ers in this one, projecting a 24-20 victory over the Seahawks. Sunday's schedule kicks off with the Jaguars and Bears facing off against each other in London. The over-under on this game is set at 44.5, with the Bears giving up 2.5 points on the spread. The Jaguars, coming off their first victory of the season, are hoping to build on last weekend's success. Unfortunately for Trevor Lawrence and the rest of the Jags, this game should be a tale of two defenses. The Bears' defense currently ranks 7th in yards allowed and 5th in points allowed. The Jaguars' defense finds itself at the opposite end of the spectrum, ranking 31st in yards allowed and 30th in points allowed. We're taking the Bears with their superior defense, projecting a 23-17 Chicago victory. Heading back to the States, we have the Green Bay Packers hosting the Arizona Cardinals. The over-under is sitting at 49.5, with the Packers giving up 5 points on the spread. This matchup features two offenses that are capable of scoring points in bunches. On the defensive side of the ball, the Packers appear to have a slight advantage over Arizona. Our projection has Green Bay winning by a score of 27-23 at home. Next up, we have the Titans hosting the Colts in an AFC South divisional matchup. The over-under on this game is set at 42.5, with the Titans listed as a 1-point underdog. The Titans' defense has played admirably, leading the league with the fewest yards allowed per game. Unfortunately, mistakes by their offense have been too much to overcome. Titans' opponents have scored 9 touchdowns through 4 games, with 3 of those scores coming from interception returns or blocked punt returns. You heard that right, 1/3 of the touchdowns scored against Tennessee have occurred with the Titans' offense on the field. This is a big part of the reason we are projecting the Colts to come away with a 23-17 victory. The next game on the schedule has the Texans visiting the Patriots. The over-under is currently sitting at 38.5, with the Texans giving up 7 points on the spread. The Texans come into Week 6 with a 4-1 record, but their performance so far has been somewhat underwhelming. Their only loss saw them get blown out by the Vikings, and all 4 of their victories were one-score games. It is for these reasons that our projection has the Texans coming away with another one-score victory, beating the Patriots by a score of 20-13. Next, we have the New Orleans Saints hosting Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The over-under on this game is set at 41.5, with the Saints getting 3.5 points on the spread. With Derek Carr expected to miss this game due to the oblique injury he suffered in Week 5, it appears the Saints will either turn to Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler for the Week 6 matchup. Either way, we believe the Buccaneers are the more talented team and will earn the win. Our projection has Tampa Bay picking up a 27-16 victory. Next up, we have Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Cleveland Browns. The over-under on this game has been set at 42.5, with the Eagles giving up a massive 9.5 points on the spread. Just being completely honest, we have no faith in the Browns to win as long as Deshaun Watson is under center. We know they made a massive investment, but it feels like they should have already reached the point of giving Jameis Winston a chance to see if he can provide some sort of spark on the offensive side of the ball. With Watson still slated to start for the Browns, our projection has the Eagles coming away with a 24-13 victory. The next game in our projection has the Rookie of the Year frontrunner, Jayden Daniels, leading the Commanders into Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The over-under for this game is 51.5, with the Ravens giving up 6.5 points on the spread. There's no denying Jaden Daniels has had an exciting start to the season as he's led the Commanders to a 4-1 start, but we aren't completely sold on Washington as a legitimate contender. Their 4 wins were against teams with a combined record of 6-14. They've played one team with a winning record, and they lost that game by 17 points. Keeping all of that in mind, our projection has Baltimore coming away with a 24-17 victory. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos hosting the Los Angeles Chargers in an AFC West divisional showdown. Unsurprisingly, odds makers have set the over-under for this game at 35.5, with the Broncos being 3-point underdogs at home. Points should be difficult to come by in this game, with the two defenses being ranked first and second in points allowed this season. Even though this game has the lowest over-under on this week's schedule, our projection has us taking the under with a 17-13 Chargers victory. If you're enjoying the video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing so that you don't miss future content from NFL Direct. The next game in our projection has the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. The over-under for this game is 36.5, with the Steelers giving up 3 points on the spread. This matchup features two teams that seem uncertain about what their plan is at the game's most important position. On Wednesday, the Raiders announced they are benching quarterback Gardner Minshew in favor of Aiden O'Connell. The Steelers came into the season with Russell Wilson as their starter until a calf injury forced them to start Justin Fields in the first 5 games. Wilson appears to be back, but Fields still looks to be the starter this week. The big question now is about how quickly will the coaching staff be to pull Fields and give Wilson a chance. Even with all the questions, our projection has the Steelers coming out of this game with a 17-13 victory. Moving on, we have Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Detroit Lions. Odds makers are expecting this to be a high-scoring affair, setting the over-under at 52.5, which is the highest on the Week 6 schedule, with the Cowboys set as 3-point underdogs. While the Lions have looked just as talented as was expected, the Cowboys' season has been a bit of a roller coaster. To be fair, we have to acknowledge the impact felt by Dallas after experiencing multiple injuries at the edge rusher position. While the Cowboys have won their last 2 games, and do have enough talent on their roster to compete with any team in the league, Detroit has been the more consistent team, so our projection has the Lions picking up a 34-27 victory. The next game on the schedule has the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Carolina Panthers. The over-under for this game has been set at 46.5, with the Falcons giving up 6 points on the spread. With a 1-4 record, this season has been a struggle for the Panthers, who made a change at quarterback after week 2 of the season. For Atlanta, the season didn't start the way they wanted, but the last couple of weeks has the Falcons beginning to look like the team their fans hoped they would be after signing Kirk Cousins in free agency. We're projecting a convincing 34-20 win for the Falcons. Sunday's final game has Daniel Jones and the New York Giants hosting Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. The over-under has been set at 47.5, with Cincinnati giving up 3.5 points on the spread. Joe Burrow has been phenomenal this season, but it hasn't translated to wins because the Bengals' defense hasn't been able to stop anybody this season. The Giants have been inconsistent, but have at least managed to win a couple of games. Our projection has Joe Burrow and the Bengals picking up their second win with a 27-20 road victory. Week 6's final game has the New York Jets hosting the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. The over-under for this game is set at 40.5, with the Jets getting 2.5 points on the spread. The Bills and Jets each find themselves trying to get their seasons back on track, with both teams having lost their games in each of the last 2 weeks. The Jets even went so far as to fire their head coach after last week's loss to the undefeated Vikings. We don't believe the coaching change will be enough to get a victory over the Bills. Our projection has the Bills winning with a final score of 23-17. For those of you that are interested, here is how we performed with last week's projections. And here is our record so far this season. Thank you for watching our video. If you've enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe.